Hello and welcome to my channel. I am the Fingernail Reviewer. Today we are going to be reviewing this QCEN juicer. It's a very cool juicer. I've used it a couple of times, so I'm going to give you my honest opinion of this juicer. And so what are we going to cover today in this channel? Well, I'm going to show you how to turn this into this. And here's the QCEN juicer. And so I bought this on Amazon, and right now this juicer is going for $49.99. And I can tell you guys from using this juicer, that is a steal. So let's start with going over the components that come with this juicer. Well, first you're gonna see this is the main juicer body, and it's gonna have some knobs here that you're gonna use to determine the speed of the juicer. So if you're juicing a fruit or anything that's very dense, you're gonna wanna put it on 2. If you're juicing something that's mildly dense, like this fruit that we're gonna be using, you're gonna wanna use a 1. And then of course you have 0, and that turns the juicer off. So the main parts of this juicer, number 1, are of course, the juicer blades. And so this is what's gonna cut that fruit up nice and fine and juice it for you. Next, we have the pulp receptacle. At least that's what I call it. What's the official name? I don't know. We're gonna go with pulp receptacle. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna take your pulp receptacle and you're gonna attach that to the back of the juicer that's gonna catch all your good pulp. Now, I will say, I don't really know good ideas of what to do with the pulp when you're finished juicing. So if you guys have any good ideas, please leave that in the comments, and perhaps we'll do a video of what we can do with all this great pulp that we're gonna make. The next thing that we have is the juice catcher. Again, not the official name, but that's what we're gonna call it. This is the juice catcher, and this is going to go on the front of the juicer. So first you're gonna take off the guard, which will help keep your juicer fresh, and nothing's gonna crawl up in there because it's gonna smell all sticky and juicy after we're done. So we wanna keep this protector. So you're gonna put your juice catcher on the front. You also have a lid for your juice catcher. It's the splash guard basically. So if anything splashes up, we're gonna keep that nice and protected, and we're gonna keep that in our juice receptacle. You also have this latch right here. This is to protect you. So if this latch is not activated, the juicer will not work. And it's good for us to have that type of safety, right? Especially because we don't want the kids to get into the juicer. Next, you're gonna have where we're gonna feed the juice into the juicer. You also have a guard here. Keep those juice blades nice and safe. So we are going to attach this, and that's gonna fit nice and comfy. Next, we're gonna have our fruit pusher. Lack of a better term. Again, don't know the technical terms, but we're gonna call this our fruit feeder. So we're gonna put that right there because that'll come in handy shortly. So what I like to do also when I'm juicing is I like to have a handy dandy just somewhere for us to store the juice when we are done. And so I got these off of Amazon. I think they came in a pack of 8, and they were inexpensive as well. But I like these because they are glass and they have this nice little top that comes on these. But also you can use anything that you want to store the juice. Just make sure that it has a nice sealed top to keep all that fragrant juice inside. So there's many ways you can use, or many things you can use this juicer for. So I like to use it to just juice fruit. And I mainly use this fruit for my cocktails, because I probably didn't mention at the beginning that I'm a mom. So yeah, we need our cocktails at night. And I like to keep it as healthy as I possibly can when I'm drinking my tequila, right? So I use it to make sure that I have some fresh juice. But of course you can use this juice if you just want fresh juice for your kids or for your babies or whatever, or just for you to have it for something healthy, or any juice recipes that you see on YouTube. This juicer is nice and it's inexpensive, and I think you'll like it. So the first thing we're gonna do is I'm gonna show you the fruit that I'll be using today. In my bowl, I've already cut up some watermelon, some strawberries. I have some blueberries and some pineapples and raspberries in here. You can use whatever fruit combination that you want. I think this juicer will be strong enough to juice whatever you put in here. You just want to make sure that you cut it up finely enough so that it doesn't get stuck in the juicer, because obviously this is a smaller compact juicer that's really good for daily use, but it's not as strong, of course, as some of the big boys where you can cut up a lot denser things, like probably harder veggies and stuff in it. But it's still a pretty good juicer. I really like it and I use it every day. So let's get into adding some fruit into our juicer so I can show you guys how this works. Now, if you remember before, I told you that the juicer will not work unless you engage this latch. So let's go ahead and engage that latch. You heard that nice click. That's gonna let you know that you have a safe juicer and it's safe to juice. So I will admit one thing to you guys. In order to get the pineapple and the watermelon cut up as good as I did, I used special tools for cutting those up that I got off of Amazon as well. So stay tuned. I will have a video to review how I got this fruit nice and small and ready for the juicer. So let's begin. Now, you don't have to add different variations of the fruit into the juicer at the same time, meaning you don't have to make sure you get a little bit of pineapple, a little bit of, blueberries or raspberries in your grab, because it's all gonna mix nice and wonderful in your juice receptacle. So you can take your time and really make sure that you get all the flavors that you want. So first we're gonna start with this watermelon. Now, you cannot put fruit into here unless you taste it first, because you need to know how it's gonna turn out. I mean, you can, but why wouldn't you wanna taste it? So let's see what our watermelons taste like. Oh yeah, even the cameraman had to steal a piece because it is so good. So let's go ahead and put some of our strawberries in here. Okay, we're gonna get a nice handful of watermelon. I'm gonna dig down here because I have these nails on. I can go ahead and dig down here like the claw machine. Okay, let's get us some. Ooh, look how juicy these pineapples look. Oh my God. Put some of that in there. And then we can add some raspberries. And then I always like to just give it a little push, because that's gonna allow me to put a little bit more fruit on the top, which is ideal, right? So we're gonna go ahead and give that a little push. Now that we have all of our fruit nice and tucked, nope, we're not gonna waste any. We're gonna throw that in there because you're gonna get juice later, brother. Okay, so now that we have our fruit in there, we wanna go ahead and get our fruit feeder in place. Now what I'm gonna do, because this fruit is nice and soft, I don't really need to put it on 2. Now if I put it on 2, it'd probably just make it go faster because it's just gonna slice through it. So we're gonna go ahead and turn this on, and we're gonna go ahead and demonstrate this juicer to you. So let's go. Yeah. Voila. Now, you guys notice that it makes some noise, not a lot of noise. So depending on what's happening in your surroundings, I don't know if we have a sleeping baby or something, you may want to think about like the times when you want to do this, but it is definitely quiet in my opinion, because I have tested other juicers. So this one is actually not as loud. And so you saw how I kind of gently push the feeder down just to make sure everything gets nice and sliced and diced in there. So let's go ahead and see what our results are. So I'm just gonna slide this out, and you will have some drippage here, so you probably wanna keep like a towel or a napkin under there. And we're gonna take this lid off, and we see our wonderful juice here. Ooh, look at that. And I love the way it kind of separates like more of the water in the juice from the more pulpy part of the juice. But a good shake, good mix of that, it'll mix it all together. So we talked about the pulp. Let's see what that looks like. And in order for me to get to the pulp, I'm going to take the safety hatch off. And we're gonna take this off the top. And even from there, you guys can see all that great pulp that is in there. Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. Yep, feeder fell out, not a big deal, this happens. Now we can see also here in the receptacle, all that pulp that is in there. And so now we have to figure out what we're gonna do with all this pulp, right? Because we don't wanna waste this pulp, but it keeps it nice and safe in your receptacle. So again, any ideas, we'll figure that out later. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna transfer the juice into where I'm going to keep it nice and safe and fragrant. And so, oh, look at that pour. Isn't that beautiful? I love it. Looks great. So let's give our juice a taste. Let's see what it's tasting like. Oh, if I had to describe what this tastes like, I would say it tastes like a warm summer day next to the pool. It's so fragrant and fruity, and it makes you feel like, I don't know, you're on a beach somewhere, right? Oh my God. Or on a cruise with a drink package, if you know what I mean. Oh my goodness, so good. So I happen to have a cup, or a glass, shall I say, of my favorite tequila laying around. Oh yeah. This is where we get to the adult stuff. So I'm gonna pour a little bit of this juice in there. Oh, look at that pour. Look at that mix. Oh my goodness. Can you guys see all that juice mixing and all that beautiful fragrance just flowing down? It is just absolutely gorgeous. Now, normally I take a couple of the fruit and I'm just gonna throw that in there to give it a little bit more taste. You guys see a little bit splashed out. My husband will call that alcohol abuse. Not supposed to waste the alcohol, but he's not here. So we're gonna pretend like that didn't happen. So let's see how it tastes once it's mixed with our favorite tequila. Oh yeah, that's an after work cocktail, or, you know, if you have smaller kids, an after bath cocktail. But this is fabulous. So at the end of the day, what would I rate this juicer? I would say functionality, the fact that it's so compact, the fact that it's not that loud and it's inexpensive. I would give it a solid 8 as far as juicers go. And let me also tell you, cleanup is so easy. You just take your pieces. You're gonna, of course, take the pulp out of these pieces. You run a little hot water, it cleans so beautifully. You can also put those pieces in the dishwasher if that's what you chose to do, but it's a great juicer all in all. So what I will tell everyone is, please buy this if you're looking for an inexpensive, compact, low noise juicer. QCEN, she's your girl. Well, that's the end of the video. And the last thing that I want to say to my YouTube family is, stay juicy, my friends. See you later.